And welcome to Blockbuster Bums. Kick back your recliner, crack open a beer, and let's talk movies. And today, we're not talking about a movie. We're talking about movies, plural. This is the outro episode for Indiana Jones. We have finished the series, as those listeners will know, and we are just going to do a little look back on the 5 movie spread that we just watched for Indiana Jones. Obviously, only 3 of us here tonight. Tom's still serving out the rest of his suspension.
Yep.
Davey's still just unavailable, unfortunately. So that being said, I think we can get started here. Barry, what did you think of the overall series as a whole?
Um, I understand why people love this series, particularly the first 3 movies. I know at points when we were talking about it before, a lot of people mention having a lot of nostalgia for these movies, talk about their childhoods and when they watched Temple of Doom or what have you. Um, I didn't have that nostalgia for these movies. I didn't watch them when I was young. Um, but that said, while I don't think I have the same affection for them that perhaps some of you guys have. I do recognize that they're good movies, they're fun adventures. The character deserves to be iconic. Um, and despite the bad reputation of the final 2 movies, I also think that those were perfectly fine movies overall. So I don't really have anything bad to say about the Indiana Jones series. I think it's all good stuff.
I'll say, Barry, I think you've really taken a turn, man. I felt like when we were starting this, I felt like you were a lot more negative than you are now about the series.
Yeah, maybe. Now I'll say this: these aren't movies that I'm going to choose to watch again anytime soon. Not out of any dislike for them or anything. They're not highly appealing to me. If my son asks me to watch one with him, of course I will. But I'm not necessarily gonna probably seek these out on my own anytime soon.
Fair enough. Ray, what was your thoughts on the series as a whole?
Pretty awesome series to be totally honest. Even with Crystal Skull, I was pretty invested for like 40 minutes, and then the last part of it was just it went to shit. So if they could have tightened that one up a little bit better, I would have. It would have been an awesome 5 movie set.
Mm-hmm.
But if they, for Crystal Skull, you could just toss that one in the street really, and I mean, just like last episode, you know my thoughts on Dial, so I'm pretty high on that one. So as 4 movies, the first 3 in that one, I'm pretty cool with those 4.
Yeah, I'm somewhere around you guys. I like these movies as a whole. None of them are terrible as far as I'm concerned. The first 3 are awesome, iconic. A lot of memories from my childhood, like Barry mentioned. Um, Crystal Skull is definitely my least favorite. So, like, I think I said in the last episode that I would, if you took the 5th movie, Dial, and moved it up to 4 and just deleted the 4th movie, I'd be like, 4 really good movies. They ended it all right. I'm good with it.
Yep.
But I don't hate Crystal Skull. I just don't like the way Crystal Skull ended. I think just like the last 15, 20 minutes is a struggle for me.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the movie's fine. Um, so yeah, it's a good overall series. It has its ups and downs. If it would have ended after the first trilogy, I think it would be just phenomenal. Um, but they went a little far with it after
Yeah.
that. But yeah. So that being said, Barry,
Hmm.
just you personally, not our general list. What would you say is your favorite and your least favorite movie?
I'm going to guess everyone will agree with this. The
Last
Last
Crusade.
Crusade. Thank you. They're all so similar at times. The Last Crusade is almost a perfect action adventure movie. I can't think of any part of that movie where I'm like, I could have done without that, or thinking it dragged, or not enjoying the characters. I think that that's a pretty much a perfect action adventure movie. And again, while I didn't dislike any of these movies, I would guess Crystal Skull's maybe my least favorite. And I agree with what both of you guys said, that it got a little, I don't mind kooky weirdness. Like, frankly, in many ways, I prefer that in a lot of ways in certain movies. But it just got to where I was not interested and engaged in it anymore, particularly toward the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ray, what were your thoughts?
I mean, my favorite is Last Crusade. It was just a nice culmination of all the movies. You got a little bit of everything, a nice story, another nice Nazi religious story, you know. The father son dynamic, you know, the lifelong journey to figure out where this the cup of Christ was. My least favorite, no, it's cliche, but Kingdom of Crystal Skull. Not some story, but most of all, like the directing, the lighting, special effects was like something I probably could have done in my house at times. Like it was just a lot of like laziness out of Spielberg and George Lucas at times. And I don't know if they was really being lazy, but just like maybe they were experimenting a little too hard with stuff, or they didn't take the time to like tone things up. But they just did not land a whole lot on Kingdom of Crystal Skull.
Well, not to be anticlimactic or copycat or whatever you want to say it, but I have the same two movies: Last Crusade, Crystal Skull. Um, I think Barry's right. The back and forth between Indy and his dad in that movie is so phenomenal. It really makes the movie. I think I, th- I think Tom is the only one that really even gave pushback on that being the best movie.
Yeah, because he liked Raiders because
Raiders,
was made everything culminate into
Mm-hmm.
Last Crusade, and that was his argument.
But
That's like saying that eggs and flour are better than cake.
Very true.
That being said, we didn't talk about this on the episode. I think Barry pointed it out afterwards, but The Last Crusade swept the rankings. It was the best movie. It had the best sidekick. It had the best love interest. It had the best villain. So I think that kind of tells you as a group how we felt about that movie, even if it was subconscious to Tom.
Yeah.
The sidekick is just. He's not only the best sidekick, I think he's the best sidekick in a landslide. I love Short Round. I think Short Round's character is awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoy him, but he's not Henry Sr.
No.
He's just not.
No.
So yeah, I really like that movie. And then, like you said, Kingdom of Crystal Skull is just, again, it's not like unwatchable or terrible, but just not my favorite. They went a little too far with it. I have issues with it. And they didn't continue to build on it. I mean, it was originally billed as Shia LaBeouf was going to take over as Indy, and I thought you were going to get like Indy, like Harrison Ford's Indy as it's kind of like in the senior role for a movie or two,
kind of thing.
Yeah, and Shia LaBeouf was going to be, Indiana the Third or whatever. However you want to put it.
Yeah,
Henry.
because technically he is Henry.
Yeah, the third. Yeah, and he was going to take over that mantle, and then I think that was right around the time Shia LaBeouf kind of lost his mind.
Yeah.
So maybe that played a role. But like they kind of let you down. Like they set you up with, oh, we have the new guy. He's going to take over the mantle, kind of like a James Bond type situation. Like we have a new guy now. Only we're going to actually introduce you to him in the other guy's last movie. But it just didn't work for whatever reason, and kind of let you down. That being said, I kind of brought him up there. What are your all's thoughts with Harrison Ford in this role
Of
Indiana Jones?
Of Indiana, yeah, it was perfectly played.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was tailor fit for him, pretty much. Like I could not, like they've like danced some names around, like Nathan Fillion could probably reboot it, but I don't he's not gonna be Harrison Ford. Like people will be like, Sean Connery's the best Bond. You can't top Connery. Uh, there's certain roles that fit certain actors. This is Harrison Ford's. This is him as a character. This is Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones.
So this is your favorite role of Harrison Ford's?
I mean, I don't know. I'll say favorite.
Solo.
I mean, he's good as Solo. Like he's tailor made for Solo. He's tailor made for a lot of different ones. But like Solo and Harrison Ford were tailor made for Harrison Ford. Those are his two jump out. Like you'll have like what is it? The Witness. You have like Air Force One, The Fugitive.
Fugitive, yeah, that was a good.
You have a lot of different things for Harrison Ford, but these two are the ones that jump out the most.
I mean, they're two of the most iconic franchises in movie
But
history.
I mean, I loved him as a fugitive. I'm not.
Yeah, he was very good.
But
in
I
that
mean, you
too.
could put anybody else in that role and be a movie with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Barry, what are your thoughts on Harrison Ford in this role?
It is hard to imagine anybody else playing Indiana Jones. I think he does a great job, and I'm not even a huge Harrison Ford fan. I think largely Harrison Ford's fine as an actor. I'm not enthralled by him like a lot of people are. But yeah, I mean, he's obviously made the role iconic and one of the biggest actors of all time. So I'm not going to say anything bad about him. People love him, and there's a good reason for it.
Yeah, I like Harrison Ford a lot. I love Indiana Jones. I really like Star Wars. Two iconic franchises that Harrison Ford has been a part of. So to say I'm a fan, I guess would be correct. I also like him in other roles, like you said, The Fugitive is another good one. I feel like we're forgetting one, but I'm just thinking of the top of my head.
Yeah.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Blade
There you
Runner.
go. That's what I was trying to think of. Blade Runner. Yeah. Way to go, Barry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be honest with you though. I love Solo, but I think when people say Harrison Ford, I picture him in the hat.
Yeah, because it's his movie.
Mm.
And Star Wars, it's not really his movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
It's more
you're
of a
correct on
team
that.
effort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in Indiana Jones, it's Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, Ray. Thank you. Well, I guess here's the last question I have for you guys. Should they, not will they, should they reboot this series?
I want to say no, but I mean, I'll tell you like this. I'm a big Blade fan. Like I love Wesley Snipes and Blade.
I did too.
But when they said they cast Mahershala Ali,
Mm-hmm.
that's the second coming of Blade. I thought he fit the role. He's got the same kind of attitude.
I like him too.
It was a good casting.
A lot of good they've done, but yeah,
Yeah, they've kind of shit all over that from
he's gonna be 60 by the time they make a movie.
exactly. But that was a good casting. If they get a good casting, I'm all for it. If they get a good story, I'm all for it. But will they? I mean, we see what happened with 4. And this one was a delightful surprise, Dial of Destiny. They come pull that one out of their ass.
But you couldn't do a bunch of that. Like it worked because it had his niche of him being this old man that
Yeah.
helped this woman through this thing, da da da. But like you couldn't make a trilogy of that,
No.
So
Disney should have come to you for help with like the poster and advertising, and it could have said at the bottom, "A delightful surprise."
yeah.
Ray.
Barry, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I assume that they probably will at some juncture,
Yeah.
recast and run it back again. And I'm with Ray entirely. If they cast it well and if they stay true to what it is that Indiana Jones movies ought to be, super.
Yeah.
I have the same feeling as you guys. I think they will, regardless of whether we want it or not. I think they will. Whether they should or not, yes, if you guarantee me they're going to do a good job, I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it then. But that's where I run into my problem is we're talking about Disney here. I have no faith that Disney's going to do a good job. Disney is very good anymore for trying to jam agendas down your throat,
Yeah.
and they're very good for ruining things that people once loved.
Yes.
But the push I'll give you on this one is Kathleen Kennedy's out by the end of the year.
You think so?
No, she's already said it.
Oh, she already said it. Okay,
Yeah,
I missed
she's
that.
out. Lucasfilm, at least the Star Wars side, will be by Favreau and God, what's George Lucas's guy? He's got that hat on. I can't remember, but they'll be running it probably.
I mean,
I don't know about the Harrison or the Indy stuff or anything other than Star Wars, but Kathleen Kennedy's out.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a step in the right direction, I think. But at the same time, they've fucked Star Wars left and right. So,
Yeah,
like, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see because I do think it'll happen at some point.
yeah.
Maybe they'll wait for Harrison Ford to pass away before they do it. But I mean, he's like in his 80s, so I mean, or maybe even older than that.
But I mean, we heard a cracker line in Dial of Destiny.
That's true.
So
they did. Yeah.
Disney's starting to loosen up a little bit, minorly.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see. It'll be interesting to find out. And like you said, the casting will be huge. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
it would be very, very. I don't think you can cast a nobody. It would be hard to do.
Yeah,
At the same time, though, you know, with Disney, like we're not just gonna get a trilogy. We're gonna get a TV show and a bunch of movies and another TV show spinoff,
Yeah.
and just to pound us into oblivion with it. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. It really will.
like I don't really have an actor in mind.
don't
Like I
either.
can't even think of one.
Mm-mm.
Like I don't even.
No.
I'm sure they'd probably try and push Chris Pratt. Probably. He's got that kind of goofiness.
I do like Chris Pratt, and I'm not saying Chris Pratt couldn't pull it off, but can you see Pratt in like the tweed jacket and the college professor vibe?
No, it'd be too goofy.
I think he could do the action sequences. Obviously, he does
Yeah.
that well.
But
yeah.
but the way he acts, just I don't feel it. And
Mhm.
and like I said, they had Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion is not terrible, but Nathan Fillion's getting old himself.
Yeah. But they had him as like they had him pegged to like Nathan Drake trying to do that Uncharted movie at one point,
Really,
but they went with
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, and Tom Holland did a fine job with it.
So I never did end up watching it.
It's a fine little fun movie. It's not. I wouldn't like. Oh my gosh, go see it! But
Yeah.
like I found I didn't go to theater or anything to watch it. I waited till it was free on streaming, and it was one night I was bored, so I turned it on. I was at the end of it. I was like, that's solid. Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. So
Actually, one that just came to mind, Kurt Russell's son. The dude that plays U.S. Agent.
oh yeah,
I bet he
Yeah.
could pull it off.
maybe. Be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of guys that I think of as actors now are getting older.
Yeah.
So not that you need to cast a 18-year-old or anything,
Right.
but we also don't probably need a 50 or 60-year-old to start the series with,
God, I
Yeah.
hope not.
So, if you can, we'll see. Well, anybody else have anything that we want to talk about before we wrap this up, guys?
No, I mean, I think we pegged it pretty good. I mean, I don't think we have anything else really to talk about.
Well, like I said last week, we will be starting Terminator next week.
Dun, 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 dun.
Obviously, with the first Terminator movie next week. We will. We're looking forward to it. We shouldn't be bouncing in and out for that. Hopefully not. This Indiana Jones didn't work out. I got sick at one point. Tom's on suspension. Davey had to ditch us. Not ideal. Hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah.
We've had some ins and outs, but the three of us, Tom, and a guest should be here for the Terminator series, which we're, like you said, I think change of movie is always exciting. Not because you dislike the last movies, but like there's just this excitement of starting a new topic that kind of builds. And
Sarah Connor.
I'm really looking forward to at least the beginning of the Terminator series.
Yeah.
And we've all seen Terminator movies before, right?
Yeah,
Nope.
I think I've probably seen them all.
I've not seen them all. I've not seen the last two.
You haven't seen Genesis?
Mm-mm.
Genesis is pretty decent.
Yeah.
If you just kind of go with it.
Yeah, I stopped after Salvation.
And Dark Fate's not bad.
Tom said he's only seen the first three.
Oh,
He
really?
didn't even watch Salvation, yeah.
Salvation's not bad either.
Barry, how many have you seen?
2.
Just the first two?
Third one's okay.
Third one's all right, yeah. It's
Yeah.
nothing special.
They picked a female Terminator because she was the hotness at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that being said, tune in for Terminator. And thanks for tuning in to Blockbuster Bums.